So we've seen this move to the downside play out on ADA over the past 24 hours, following the surge to the upside where we ended up actually breaching past this level I talked about in my previous update at 67.6 cents. And yeah, the structure hasn't really changed. All that took place was the completion of this double XY structure where the Y wave ended up topping off at 68.55 cents. And this Y wave was also made up of a double XY structure where this is a W wave, this is an X wave, and this is a Y wave. And then ultimately, we ended up getting rejected within this region that I talked about previously, which then led to this move to the downside where we ended up losing the 200 DMA and the 50 MA, which was a bearish signal. And that then led to a deeper move to the downside where we breached past the previous local low at 63.69 cents, which resulted in a change of character, signaling that we are on a bearish trend. And so it looks like ADA is now in a correction where we could tap into this range that I set out previously, where in fact this region would actually be adjusted slightly given that we ended up moving slightly higher. So if I just bring in the fib tool, so that region will sit between 60.26 cents to 63.72 cents. And it looks like we've now tapped into this region. And so at any given moment, we could see that reversal to the upside, where what could have forming then is a bigger WXY structure to the upside, or we could go slightly deeper within this range, or worst case scenario, we could actually get rejected within this range and see that deeper move to the downside where we breach below the local low at 59.22 cents. And so if I drop down to the 15-minute chart just to see what's actually taking place within this move to the downside. And if I bring in the fib tool and bring this up to 67.37 cents, so it looks like we ended up actually breaching the 1.6 net level, and that could trigger a 5-way structure that's forming. And so in essence, this move to the downside was the wave 1, this is wave 2, this could be the wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. So it's possible that we are now within this 5th wave. So what I did is I dropped down to the 5-minute chart and check to see what's taken place here. So if I bring in the fib tool and bring this up to 64.48 cents. So we had a double top that took place, and yeah, we ended up exceeding the 1.6 net level. And so it looks like we have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that's playing out right now, where it's possible that we could have completed the 4th wave and we have the 5th wave that's playing out. And the 5th wave would typically reach anywhere between 1.226 to 1.618 of the wave 4. And so if I bring in the fib tool and assume that we ended up topping off at 63.78 cents, ADA could potentially reach anywhere between 62.94 cents to 63.14 cents short term. And that would then complete the 3rd wave. And so what we are forming right now is this 5th wave here, which has to be made up of 5 waves, where this move to the downside is wave 1, this move to the upside is wave 2, and in this 5-wave structure would be the wave 3, and then we see a wave 4 and then a wave 5 play out like so. And so if I go back to the 15-minute chart, we'll go one of 2 ways, where this 5-way structure could either form the wave W, and then we see a recovery to the upside to form wave X, followed by that final push to the downside to complete the Y wave, where we then continue to trade within this region. Or worst case scenario, we could have a 5-way structure to the downside where we then breach below the local low at 59.22 cents, which could be bearish in the short term. And so in essence, this 5-way structure could form the wave 1, and then we see a wave 2, wave 3, 4, and 5 like so. And from then on out, we could actually see a deeper move to the downside. But of course, this is only guesswork as it stands at the moment, because we need further confirmation. And looking at the hourly chart, we are within the oversold conditions. So if I go back to the hourly chart, we are within the oversold conditions. So I'm looking at for the bulls to regain momentum and potentially drive the price of ADA up. potentially towards the 50 EMA or the 200 EMA, and then we could get rejected. And if that's the case, then what we could have forming is the WXY structure like so. Or alternatively, it could be a case of what we have forming as opposed to this 5-way structure is a WXYXZ structure. And then we could see that reversal to the upside where we then breach above the local top. If I go on the daily chart, it is also worth noting that we have had a death cross, or we're on the brink of having a death cross event take place, with the 50 EMA being on the brink of crossing the 200 EMA, which could be a bearish signal. And so, yeah, it's possible that we could actually go even deeper and breach below the local low at 59.23 cents. But of course, that's something I'm going to be tracking in the days and weeks to come, and I'll keep you guys updated. And so, yeah, that's just my update on Cardano ADA. Hopefully you found it useful, and if you did, then feel free to hit the like button, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.